Hey guys, Friday, time for another update. I know last week I said in my first post I didn't know the frequency with when I try to do this, but I think Fridays are a good time. It's a good time to reset. There may be a couple Fridays between here and whenever I decide that this has run its course too, that I may not be able to do updates due to work or something else. But it's a good time to level set, so that's good. So I want to touch on something quickly. I guess first and foremost is why I'm wearing a Baltimore Orioles hat. As most of you know, I am not a fan of the color orange. In fact, this is the only thing that's orange that I own. Um, I, Most of you know why too. I'm a diehard Georgia fan, so there is a Georgia hat on my desk as well. There's probably 10 in this room I'm sitting in, as much as other and a bunch of other memorabilia. However, my son is playing baseball for the first time, and he is on the Orioles. So to support him, I bought a the least offensive orange hat, non-hunting related, that I could find. And so I'm wearing it to get used to it. It's all to support him. It's all about the kids. That's why I'm doing this transformation myself is for my family and my kids. So I am suffering through it. It's not my normal gray hat with a power G or a red and black. So that's first and foremost on that one. Second thing, I want to talk about a big guy problem. And this big guy problem has to do with travel. So many of you may know, but many of you may not. I am a senior consultant and I design warehouses and supply chain strategy and so forth. So I travel not every week, knock on wood. I got a pretty sweet gig. I travel probably about 50% of the time. I hop on an airplane and go to client sites and do discovery and presentations and all other fun stuff that comes with the role. And doing so, I refuse to check a bag. So checking a bag is really against everything I believe in. I do everything in my power to carry on. However, I'm not just fat, I'm a big guy. So when I go to the airport and I have a pair of workout shoes, running shoes. I don't run, but running shoes in my bag to work out in, tennis shoes. I have a sweatshirt because it's below freezing wherever I'm going. Um, my carry-on gets rather packed out. So this week was the first week in quite a while I've traveled to the full extent of the whole week. And they need to figure out a way to make a carry-on that's carry-on size that'll fit in an overhead bin that will comfortably fit a week's worth of clothes. You got to think, my jeans are bigger than a normal pair of jeans. They are. Now, the good news is they're shrinking. They won't be that as big for long. But I'm always going to be 6 foot, almost four, and I'm always going to be a big guy. Maybe not as big as I am now. Well, it won't be as big as I am now. That's a commitment. But I got to figure out how to get better at that because my bag suffered this week. Um, it was hard to put it back together, and it's never as hard to put it together the first time as it is after you've wore your clothes and they've got all wrinkled up and just gross from the day and everything else and putting it back into your suitcase. That's a big guy problem. I'm sure there's big women out there who suffer from the same thing. In fact, there's probably many women who suffer from it just because if you're like my wife, I'll go ahead and put that out there, you take everything with you when you go someplace. But this is different. So, big guy problem number one while traveling. Big guy number two while traveling problem. I know I said funny, but big guy problem number two while traveling. Being on an airplane in bulkhead. So, bulkhead, for those of you who don't fly, is the first seat or a seat in a section. So if you sit in first class and you're in the very front row, you're sitting in bulkhead. When you go from first class to coach, you're in bulkhead. When you're in exit row, you're very similar to bulkhead. And the problem isn't the extra leg room. In fact, I'd love it, right? I'm flying a lot. I fly Delta. I'm always Delta Comfort, so it's usually not an issue. But when you get in a bulkhead seat of any kind, whether Delta Comfort, first class, or the back, not first class, let me check that. First class is completely separate. But when you're in the back of the plane, non first class, the seats are terrible. They are about 2 inches narrower due to the way the seat structures are. So a normal seat, if you're sitting on the aisle, I'm an aisle sitter, um, sub big guy problem. If you fall asleep on a plane like I do, for me it's rocking a cradle. They bring the drink cart down, you're going to lose an elbow. Depending on what side it is, it's coming. Shoulder and elbow. They don't, the flight attendants are wonderful people, but they don't hesitate to take out an elbow. I think it's a rite of passage. I think they actually have something where they say they have to do that to big guys who fall asleep in the aisle. So that's a sub problem. But the big problem is 2 inches smaller. So being a big guy, I carry all my weight in my midsection. I don't carry a bunch of weight in my butt. I got a very tiny butt, not a very pretty butt. Um, and it just cramps my hips. I hate it. I despise it. It's hard to sleep in bulkhead because of that. Sometimes one of my tricks is I know I'm tired and dozing off. I mean, flying in the plane is like taking Ambien for me. Engine starts up, I'm out. So being comfortable is key. Um, so sometimes I'll literally pick up my bag and put it in my lap and use it like as a rest. And it helps me sleep because I can't stay awake. Otherwise, I'm miserable. Um, Now, an hour into a flight, I'll wake up and be fine. But that first hour is tough. So last night on the way home, I did, I moved up to an earlier flight. Um, I don't, I try to do that when I can. Get home, when you get home in Atlanta, travel tip for those who don't travel, you don't land before 5:30, 6 o'clock ever because you're not getting home anytime soon. So my initial flight was at 7:30, 7:40 at night, which would put me home about, all said and done, about 10 o'clock. So I landed, um, I took off at 5:30 instead, which put me home landing at 7:30, which means I got home closer to 9. So long story short, big guy problem, bulkhead, not comfortable because when your hips are wide because you're just a big dude, it hurts. So that's my big guy problems for the week. Overall, was another great week. I think that the thing I'm most proud of this week is I traveled and I still stuck to my plan. I worked out every morning except for the official the rest day in the program. So every single day, went to the gym, worked out. This week, I changed my macros around a little bit. And when I say macros, I mean my macronutrition nutrients. Pardon my tongue twisting there. And I upped my protein. So I'm on a keto-like diet, probably closer to modified Atkins at this point, I guess, in terms of what I consume. It's low carb, lower carb. I try to stay 50 or less net per day. And on a keto diet, you eat mostly healthy fats. I'm already fat, so I don't need a lot of that, but I am in the weight room a lot, and I'm enjoying the fact that I'm feeling more fit, firm, and stronger. So I've been upping my protein take. The only issue I saw this week is it takes a lot of food to hit 250 to 300 grams of protein a day. So all the research out there, there's all types of varying opinions, but the one thing that is fairly consistent between all the opinions, dissenting or not, is that you need 1 gram of protein for every pound of lean muscle mass or body mass per day. So, big guy, probably have at least 250 pounds of lean body mass. My goal weight target is right at about 300 pounds first pass here. Don't know when I'm going to hit it because I'll get to that in a moment. But long story short, it's a lot of food, and it's a lot of good food, good for you food. But man, it's a lot of food. So a lot of salmon and chicken, and I felt full. I do supplement now, and I kind of mentioned that last week, but I'll go ahead and do a shameless plug here. First Form supplements are delicious. They're tremendous. They really help me out. Today was a squat day again, so today my week started over, and came home, took my protein powder to replenish my body, and let me tell you, it takes about 3 or 4 hours, but I can tell the difference. So this is probably because my body's somewhat more used to the heavier weights of the new program. However, the recovery is so much faster, even doing heavier weights. So it's working. I'm not going to stop doing it as long as it's working. The products taste delicious. We'll give it a shot, and when it stops working, I'll let you guys know. But right now, it's been just terrific. So First Form, that's First PHORM. Check it out. I'm also taking part of the Transformation Challenge, as I said last week. The only difference is I am sticking to the Genesis program and Body Spartan for working out. It is brutal. I will say I was very good last week with it. I do have 2 places to improve upon, though. So the cardio portion. Cardio, when you're lifting heavy weights, Most people trying to gain muscle mass will tell you not to do heavy cardio. I am trying to not only get more, bring back some muscle in my body, I'm trying to lose fat. So I needed to be better about that. It's just 10 minutes of hit training, and God, I hate it. God, there's not much more I despise than that. But only did that 2 of the days last week when I should have done it 3 before a workout. Um, so I need to be better about that. And then the last workout of the week, so I guess Wednesday morning, I was in Fairfax, Virginia. The Anytime Fitness there was absolutely tremendous. It was just a top of the line gym. The workout had you doing heavy shrugs 2 different ways, and then it wanted you to do power cleans, well, hang cleans, and then deadlifts. And I did not take my weight belt with me. Big guy problem. Remember, number one, no suitcase room. And when you're a big guy, you have to have a big belt. I didn't have one, so I stayed away from the power clean, from the deadlifts, and I did do a few of the hang cleans, probably not as heavy as I could have, simply because I don't want to throw out my back. So there are people out there who say a weight belt doesn't matter. It makes me feel more stable. This morning, squat day, it was absolutely, it's essential. I guess a safety net. Maybe it's mental or not, but it works. So was really good about it last week. Started this morning, got up actually 10 minutes earlier, so 4:30 instead of 4:40 to get to the gym, and so I'm sticking with it. So I did do it while traveling. I ate clean while traveling. I didn't eat anything really bad. My only indulgence is some ranch from one of the restaurants on a salad. And you know what, guys? It's not perfect, but if that's as bad as it gets, I'm winning in this game we call transformation and lifestyle change. So, really great week. If you are interested in doing this, I highly recommend the Genesis workout. It'll make you feel like you're young again because you get to put a bunch of heavy weight on there. What's heavy to you now, and give it a shot. So just another great week. I did it while traveling, so I proved I could do it. I stuck to my diet. Something else that I have learned that I really like are Quest bars. So there are a lot of protein bars on the market, but if you look at the macros on those protein bars, there's a tremendous amount of sugar and other things in them, and they're just loaded for bear. Quest bars aren't perfect by any means. However, they only have 4 net carbs to 6 net carbs in them, and they have 21 grams of protein per bar. So at almost 200 calories per bar, 21 grams of protein, it is a terrific snack, and they actually don't taste awful. They're not, no, don't be wrong, they're not a cupcake or they're not a candy bar, but they're enough to satisfy you and really hit the spot. So taking those really help throughout the day. Again, got to hit 250 to 300 grams of protein a day. Got to figure out a way to get in your body. So I did that as well. So I highly recommend those. Just give them a shot. You may or may not like them. They do make some Quest chips. We had those. Well, I had those. Well, I said we. I got them when I got the Quest bars to take with me to try them out. Had some today. Not a huge fan. They, they don't claim to be a potato chip. They claim to be a substitute. They are also high in protein. They don't contain any wheats or anything like that. They use some type of milk byproduct and protein to make them, and you can tell they are just not very good. So big win on the Quest bars. Not so big on the chips, but it's like anything else. You might be able to get used to it. So to wrap up this week, one of the things I want to talk about was YouTube channels I watch. So there's a lot of folks out there who watching YouTube seems ridiculous. Another side hobby of mine is I love to just smoke meat. It's a manly thing. Maybe it's a big guy manly thing. I don't know, but I just love throwing a rack of ribs or a brisket on there and low and slow, and putting the love into something that you can create in cooking. And I've gotten pretty good at it. I'm not great by any means, but what I cook is edible. And so to learn how to be better about that, I started watching YouTube videos from people who do it for a living or are professionals at it, or just even if they're not true professionals, they think they are, and just take some tips and advice. And for this transformation or this lifestyle change, I've done the same exact thing. I've watched videos. So in the notes of this video, believe it or not, there'll be notes in this one. I'm going to link a couple guys that I've listened to and watched. I don't agree with everything they say. I don't always like the content they put out, but I was inspired, and I do believe in the way they approach things for the most part. So Bricks Fitness, the guys, if you look at his videos, that man has just absolutely turned his physical body around. I don't know about his life. He's got a couple more channels, but I'm more interested in his fitness. Thomas DeLauer from Six Pack Abs. if you follow his story, where he was a big guy and then got small, well, not small, he's swole. Um, but you'll be able to see from him, he gives the science behind things. And then if you're like me, you hear the science, you go online, you research it, and all of a sudden you've got faith in what you're doing. So I'm going to link those two below, so give everybody a watch. So shout out to those guys. Keep doing what you're doing, because it's the reason I'm doing this is to hopefully help somebody else in their journey, and they've helped me on mine one way or another. Whether it's meant to be, it's anything that's any way inspirational that gets somebody or help somebody focus or create a path to be better. It's just a wonderful thing. So shout out to both of them and the work they're doing, and give their videos a watch. You may not like them, but you'd be amazed at what you can find on YouTube if you look around. So kind of inspirational here. So appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. There's a little comment section. I will say I have 3 subscribers. Thank you to all 3 of you. That's actually pretty awesome. I got about 100 views on the first video, so I know my family probably watched. I am disappointed in my sister, Gail. If you're watching this video and you didn't watch the first one, please go watch it, just for your big brother. And but long story short, it's great. And again, if anybody watches and says, hey, I'm going to do this journey as well, hey, let me know. We can be our own support group. Life is better connected. We are meant to serve people, and life is better connected. Those are 2 values that I believe in strongly, and I'm excited to share that journey with you. So guys, hope you have a great weekend, and more to come next week. Thanks.